let you guys sync up. There you go. Okay, there we go. Okay, welcome guys. Looks like we got a pretty good crowd. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Usually whenever I start it, it goes like from usually goes from like 5 people down to 0 with my live concurrent viewer counter thingy. So please stick around. It's always weird when it's like people leave like before it even starts, like 10 seconds before. It's like where you have something to do? That's totally okay. I want to just check in. Alrighty guys, yeah, it already went halfway down. Welcome guys. Here we go. Mic check on. Good. Alrighty, welcome. Hi everyone. Back again doing this. Finding where my buttons are. Dang, sorry. Get my little wavy arm. Found a button for that. Welcome. Hi Cookie and Star. Welcome guys. Thanks for always being here. I do appreciate it. So thank you. Hello. Alrighty guys. Let's see. What do we got here? Oop, it's auto saving. Okay, that actually gave me a heart attack for a second there. Okay, good. It was just auto saving. Alrighty. How you guys been doing? I've been doing pretty good. Mostly just been taking it relatively easy. Try not to. My main default, I guess, is to be working, so it's kind of hard to take a break when it's like I'm naturally always working. So it's like, well, especially if so many things like midnight mirrors and stuff. Midnight mirrors kind of comes and goes a lot, so it's like I'm always sort of working on it occasionally. So even when I want to take a break, it's like, yeah, every other day they'll come up and say, hey, I'm practically the producer as well on it, so on the animation, so gonna have to be there to help them out. So yeah, we were organizing a re-recording for a scene for one of the voice actors, so having to figure out a meeting and schedule all that, so we'll probably get that going the rest of the week. Get that done before the end of the week. So yeah, even if I'm like, I want to, not work too much, because I just want to have like a mental break from working on Paper Derpy movie, because I finished that. Whoops, go watch that. I feel like I just need to not think about it for like a couple days, so, and then I'll work on it when I feel like I'm ready. So here we are. But anyway, during the meantime, I'm like, wait a minute. My main stuff that I do is Midnight Mirrors and the Paper Derpy movie. I'm pretty much not doing that every minute, so now what do I do? So now I'm just, I've been working on this actually. I've actually been working on the, this little Back From Work remake. It's not a remaster, because we're making it from scratch. I think that's how that works. So, here we are. Hello, Bobby. Hello. We good there, night? It's mid-evening for me, so thank you. But here we are. Let's see. So what I've worked on practically in between time, you can already see I made the everything you see here is pretty much new. On this big screen here. A lot of things over here too. I made the really quick background. I didn't even finish the house, so made the background. That's all in different sections. I can talk about that real quick. Hello, Commodore. So that's one background. So this has all the elements for the background. So I have different pieces and elements. So here's just the sky. So I separated it by different elements of like what they are, like clouds and hills. So I tend to like overshoot or like overdraw, especially stuff like that. Hill, ground, some trees, and the house, which I'm not quite done yet. Right about when I finished all the, I was working on the background earlier today, and I just didn't get around to completing this out. So I want to redesign it even more, but this just works as a decently sized, like, I just want to get like the size and scale, positions and composition right, so when I start animating, I'll be able to know like where exactly the door is approximately, and then work from there. But next biggest thing is Derpy. So I got her puppet all ready and lined up and happy to go. So she is over here. A lot of crazy stuff going on here. Definitely don't require you guys to understand what any of this is. But the program I'm using is Toon Boom Harmony 20 Premium. So Premium includes all this node view stuff. So if you happen to get Toon Boom Essentials or even Advanced, it doesn't include it. It doesn't include the node view displayer or even access to a whole bunch of nodes and stuff. So you can think of each of these as different nodes and how to connect to each other. So they're just creating relationships between the different elements is basically how its little pipeline works. But anyway, that explains the master controller stuff here, is that now I have these little sliders to switch between two different versions. Like I can change it to be front view. So in addition to having to practically recreate my entire Flash version of this, I also had to make a front and side view of her. So yeah, that was a lot of work to make sure that this is actually a puppet rather than just being a whole bunch of different... It's not flat, it's not a vector, just a bunch of different pieces. Like, it has to actually be able to be animatable was also tricky. So I realized once I opened the file from practically a year ago that the puppet that I had here wasn't didn't have all the pieces to actually animate. Let's render that. So that's what it looks like. I do see here ear, I think. There's something's going on here. Let's see if there's anything I can fix to get that going. I think it's the other ear actually. So let's get this here. It's probably, yeah, it's that one. Okay, there we go. So I'll just have to remember to not have that there. Everything else is, I had to debug it today, so there's probably some little smaller minor stuff that I didn't clean up fully. But let's see if I can show you everything here. So if I highlight everything and then go to my little, I don't know if you can see it up there, but it shows deformers. Show deformers. So basically I have to add deformers to basically every element. Excuse me. This would be easier to animate with instead of having to hand draw and say oh, I want this, you know, different curve or different drawing position or something. Easiest is probably the leg here to show you. Is that there's three different things here, so I can probably just show this one. So there's different curves and offsets and stuff. It gets really complicated. Basically, I can use these as control points. I don't know if you use Photoshop. There's the puppet tools, where basically you can add different points and it can figure out where bones and 3D sort of stuff. Yeah, it just means I can pose this into different positions without a... So otherwise, the other option to do something like this would have to be either redrawing it from scratch and then drawing this pose perfectly, and then, you know, you would have a whole bunch of different pictures like that, where they're just you would be limited in a sense of how many pictures, you know, you can really make in time allowing, you know. Well, this is more fluid and have weird bendy stuff I can do using these factory tools here. And the render is actually pretty good. You can see I was kind of being weird and polygonical. Hello, Sasha. But when I render it out, it actually kind of it's on something else. It smooths it out real nice. So it's okay that even if it looks weird here, you're gonna see how that's makes it much better. Let's undo that. Undo. There you go. So that's kind of what I've been doing. So hopefully, yeah, I'll show you the other little secrets that I got and tucked away in here once we start actually animating her. Big thing probably you see is that these little tiny freckles and little dots on her, they're actually different expressions. So I can actually have a little cheek, little eyebrows. So these are really fun. These also have deformers too. So if I need to have a very or like animate it, I don't need to have a separate picture of like it being at this angle or this angle and anything in between. I could just kind of move this around and it's much more flexible, and I can even have like a straight one and just kind of do a whole bunch of different. It allows me to be way more flexible with the expressions and make more flexibility to do certain stuff like this. A little tricky to select things, especially quickly. But yeah, this allows me to do a lot more flexibility. So this is something that definitely is a Toon Boom only, or definitely not Flash available tool. So this is why I'm like freaking out. This is so cool. It's like I get all these fun little tools and little different stuff that I've never been able to really work with. So a lot of crazy stuff here. So I recommend Toon Boom as more of an advanced, or if you're already an animator or like used to already animating, it doesn't really matter which way, like frame by frame or puppets. I would say that Toon Boom actually is pretty good. I know that my first impressions were very, I hate everything about this. Just because it's like, it's not Flash, I don't like it. But I think just using it for practically a year now, I feel like I really like it. I feel like I'm able to just kind of use it a lot more fluently, or more like, I need to do a thing like that, let's do it, you know, rather than dragging my feet and saying like, oh, I don't want to do it that way. But yeah, I would suggest to, especially on my path, you know, of like using Flash and then Toon Boom, I suggest maybe something like that. Is that it's very Flash is what most people say is like an introductory to animation. You can use it, but I would say that Toon Boom is more like, you're like, I'm dedicated and I want to make this as a career kind of a tool. It's also kind of expensive, so which I guess Flash is too, but then all of that ecosystem with that, so I don't know. Yep. Okay. See ya. What happened? Hi Josh, welcome. I'm gonna lay down for a bit. Okay. Thank you, Bobby. Alrighty. One thing too is that next thing is that because I had to like import the Derpy puppet was in a different file, and so I had to like put it in the library, which is just so tricky to use. I need to figure out how to use this a little bit more fluently, because right now I have to like have it be when there's like different drawing substitutions, which just means like the mouth has different mouths here, since like all the different pictures I have. The way to actually include them means that I have to have a frame that shows every single possible drawing substitution in it, so it kind of creates this, in this case, very weird monster of just pieces, just because I had to like show every single piece. Because otherwise, if I don't, like say I have like 10 mouthpieces and then I don't expose them here, make it in part of a library template, then they don't actually show up. Like I only have like the ones that actually show up in whatever I do the template itself. So that got really, that's still annoying. Let's see though. Hey Zephyr, Zephyr? I'm not sure. Gotta go back to work. Okay, thank you for popping in. Thank you. Alrighty. Let's get down to business. So what do we got here? Next thing I want to do. Hi cartoons, welcome guys. Let's see. First thing I want to probably do is probably just like delete the extra frames here that I have. Oop, I'm seeing some tweens and I'm not sure if I like seeing that. Where they're like black here. If I like remove it, it actually goes back to red. So that's not good. I'm not sure if I'm really liking what they're drawing down with these for some reason. What are these actually? These are the curves. Oh, interesting. So some of those curves I must have played with and now it turned into a tween. I'm not sure about that. That's new and I'm unfamiliar with that. So let's just see if we can quickly get rid of some of these and then we'll we'll get into the real animation. Just wanted to introduce the puppet and explain that. So here we go. Okay. I'm gonna have to hide the background so I can get my original storyboard template that I have there. I could just hide the character too. So this is the storyboard. Oh, I also completed the storyboard as well. So let's get going on just the first shot, which is just basically her just walking or flying in and then opening the door, and then that's it. So hopefully we'll be able to get that going. And again, all of this will be based on the original 2014 animation that I did. Back from work, I called it. So they're remaking this whole scene and not updating it to make it my as if I made this today. I think that's what I'm gonna be concerned about. Is like if I made this today, what would I do? So I don't use this muffin delivery truck service thing anymore. Got rid of that pretty quick. The hat too. So yeah, whatever kind of grade school third I made with this, draw out of this. I think I even traced the whole truck too, which yeah, it's not even close. Okay, so for today, let's see if we can hopefully just animate this 100 frame shot here of Derpy going to fly in. So alrighty, here we go. Let's get Derpy on exposure. Fortunately, I think I need to. What do I need to do? I think I need to just remove some of these keyframes, or just remove her outright. So I'm gonna select all the layers that she would be in. It's like in a group, so I basically had 100 layers, and then I collapse it into one little layer here. So if I delete these, then she should end up here. Hello, welcome. But everything should still work. Like, it should still find out where all my stuff is and understand that I'm using that sort of stuff. Does the ear? Ear still not there. That's good. Okay, so now that's clear. So now she doesn't appear for basically more than one frame. So that's good. Okay, so now I can have her be exposed for the entire length of the cartoon. And we'll see if that works. There she is. I moved the camera, so that's why she's up there. So, okay, let's go back to the beginning. Boop. So now she should be there. And now she doesn't do the crazy show every single frame of her possible there. So that's good. Okay, so I just kind of resetted it and then deleted the parts that I don't need for that. As obviously she doesn't need to be freaking out like that. So let's use this peg. I can move her over here. Probably also want to figure out the scale. Let's get the background in as a reference. Let's see if I can get this to be smaller. Squeeze her there. Figure about, usually about maybe a third, 2/3 tall of a door. Just have to be right about there. So I'm going to use that as a guide. Alrighty. And then I will hide her off screen. Like so. These little bars won't render. Hopefully that's obvious. But when it's actually rendering, they won't appear. Like that. So don't worry about that. Alrighty. How you guys doing? Let's see. I haven't known since when I know you made since 2013. Wow. Impressive. Yeah, I started being in the fandom when I was in I don't know if it was only a couple months into the show, I think. Like it was either, it felt like the January-ish of 2011, so yeah. And then I started animating in 2013. Hey, Cookie. Okay, I'm gonna follow my storyboard timing. Keep that kind of consistent. I see the background moves a bit, so I'm concerned about that. Let's find out which of these is moving. So DP, BK. BK needs to have nope keyframe. SP overlay. Okay. Just wanted to clean that up. So there we go. Okay. Perfect. Okay. What do I want to do? Problem is that I have a peg here and I have a peg here. Either they're both redundant or I need to figure out what one I want to use for what. I'd like to use this one to show size and scale of it. Probably also want to move this anchor point for this one to be at the same spot. So we're just figuring this out to make sure everything's good to go. Yeah. And I would like another peg for her to have. And so this will be the Derpy fly one. So I'm probably just gonna hello Sierra Go. Welcome back. So what I'm gonna have is a Derpy where I might just have this one be a flipper. I think I'll use this one as a flipper. DP flipper. So I'll use this one as a flipper, which just to my terminology, I think I can just use this to then just be only the one to, because have this one be only concerned about having it be this way or that way. Maybe I should have a different peg control that. Okay, so now I use that one. Why did that not work is an interesting question. Huh. Okay. Let's find a new plan. Does this one work? Okay. Well, I could have this one be fly. Or I could just have another one. And then this one doesn't really do anything. It just kind of holds it all. Oh well. More pegs, the better. Okay, and this will be... And this will only be concerned about flipping her. Or maybe because the anchor point was in a weird place. So now if I flip it, yeah, that's fine. But this one's anchor point is roughly in the same place, but this one's not. I'll just put you in the same place too. And so when I rotate it, it'll be rotating around that axis. So there we go. Let's see. Okay. Goodbye, Star. Thank you. Get some rest. Okay. I think I just spent half hour just setting this up, but I think that's more worth it to make sure that everything's actually set up good than going ahead with it. You know what I mean? Measure twice, cut once. So that's all good, and I think I'm ready now. And of course, yeah, there's the argument of like, why can't you just, you know, do it frame by frame, or just draw every frame individually, or just, is this overkill to try and do this puppety stuff? And it's like, yeah, to the sense. But there's also the sense of like being efficient, and especially in more tighter deadlines, or wanting to have a cartoon that can sustain itself for several seasons at a time, you know, than having to redraw or like have frame by frame stuff. It's a little bit more time consuming, to the sense that now you have to, every frame is individual, you know, whereas with a more of a puppety show like Simpsons or even Family Guy, like they have puppets and like able to just have certain poses, especially Family Guy, where you're not being concerned about redrawing the same character in the same pose. That you have actually more of a real sense to redraw the same, use a puppet to just make the same poses over and over, because that's what Puppet allows you to do. So it kind of works like that. works out like that. But here we can see, like, I'm already making a new pose and I'm not really thinking about it just because I already made all these different pieces. They're already separated. I have all the, what do you call them? Deformers already set up. So I'm really basically just making these to be about where I want them to be. So I'm not being concerned about, like, am I drawing it in proportion? Am I using the right amount of line weights and stuff? It's just like I'm just gonna work to get the pose right more than anything else at this point. That's what I'm concerned about. By just moving these pieces around more than trying to also be sure that all of my drawings are in correct model, you know, keeping the model every time, because I actually do go insane of trying to make sure. I've been doing the frame by frame stuff. It's just like insane of trying to keep everything in proportion every single frame. With Puppets you get that for free, to a sense. It's like, yeah, because it'd be literally the same puppet actually every single time, so you're not being concerned about that. Because if you're using the same pieces every time, so you're not literally having to, what's this? Concerned about that. Oh, it's the other ear. Okay. Hello, LED. Welcome. And like my animations. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you. Appreciate that. Alrighty. So I just made this new pose. So, okay. I'll kind of... Nope, wanted to not see those. There we go. So use this one. And then that. And so these master controllers will basically, these ones, will basically just be when I need to swap her to be a front view. Because that's the only reason that I have them. So, that's what those are. So, okie dokie. Didn't I play in Ponytown? Maybe we can stream it too. Ooh, interesting. I know Ponytown. I know that's popular. I think my, I do not. I think the last time I did it was several years ago. So if there is someone who, like, is impostering me or whatever it is, or, like, trying to pretend that they're me, don't believe them. I have not done it recently at all. So, yeah, I would say that that would be not me. Oh, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna turn on onion skin so I can see roughly about where I was last time. This is a pretty good sheet too, that I can just see roughly my path to, and just adding keyframes. So I can see, like, this isn't very far, so I could probably just push this a little bit further. So all I'm going to do is just try to make sure that these are relatively the same distance apart. Oops, I'm not making these far enough. Let's see. I think just that one. There we go. Alrighty. Bop, bop, bop. Can someone try and transcript what I was trying to say? So I'm going to be concerned about this more, so sorry. I haven't played Pony Life, like, in years, so if there's someone pretending they're me, then I would say that that's not me. Would basically be it. But I wouldn't be, like, against, you know, doing a stream. I'm just more concerned about doing animations for my streams, so that's kind of like why I like doing animation more. That's why it was, like, special to do that at Yoshi's Island one. Because it's like, I'm not gonna really do that much. You see, like, how my gaming skills are. To the sense, I was like, yeah, I was actually doing my best with the Yoshi's Island episode stream I was like, yeah, alright. So I haven't done much Let's Play stuff. It's because I'm so bad at gaming. Just in general. And I was like, yeah. Okay. That's about the right basic layout. It is a little hitchety, but that can be smoothed out later. What I'll concern now myself with is probably get the head motion, get the head angle. Looks like I already have that one there. For some reason. Make sure that these are pretty level. Let's see. Let's move that one back. I don't know if I'm doing anything really advanced or anything right here. Just kind of feeling this. Oop. And that was wrong. Okay. Okie dokie. Thank you. Who's that? Richard and 4-1. Thank you. Okay. So right about here, I can then switch to hand being different. There is some sort of keyframe I must have had right there that I do not want. Okay, so I'm going to move this into a more straight position. So it'll just be straight down like that. So you see it's already kind of bent and then goes up. And then we're just going to slowly rotate it up. So I have this one in the middle to be like an elbow, and that kind of helps it be a little bit more. Bent to the bid. What? Bent more correctly. Let's see. Hello, Elijah. Welcome. Okay. Just probably want to get this to be in the right position. Yeah, a Flash, this would have been strictly impossible, so this is really fun. To be able to play with all these deformer tools. They're really fun. There is some sort of tool in Flash that can somewhat replicate this, but it's definitely not as powerful as this. So, let's see. I think I need to rotate a little bit. Because Flash has symbols, so there's that sort of powerfulness that Toon Boom doesn't quite have, in the sense that, oh, I want to nest or put a bunch of different things inside of one group and then have the animation of that loop over and over. So that's not quite possible with this Toon Boom itself. I'm sure there's ways to sort of go around it, but I don't think it's very traditional, to the sense that that's not quite how Toon Boom really works. So there's stuff like that that's like, well, yeah, you just have to work with this. I can go back to Flash and kind of show you what I mean. That's like, yeah, I can have, that's kind of what I did for a lot of this, is that I can have, let's just show Derpy. So with Derpy, oh, she's real small. That he gets the same kind of like boxy and like symbols of stuff that's like, yeah, these are on different layers, and then like the tail's separate from everything else, and all the pieces are, oh boy, it's really slow. Like the head is its own piece, so if I double click inside it, it has the eye, which is its own group too. So I could have like the eye symbol, have everything inside it that I need for the eye. That makes sense. And then have animation inside its own Flash has its own like internal layers of levels of animation. Like this is an in tandem different universe timeline than outside on the actual whole scene. So this eye exists on a completely different like level and time space than everything else when I'm looking inside of it. But if I double click out, then it animates what was inside of it, including everything else that's on this level, which is all the head pieces. So, but you can see like an animated, and then if I go a little bit later, it should blink again, because the eyepiece only has like, what was it, like 20 frames? So every 25 frames, this eye will loop. The outer frames that are inside of it will then loop on the head layer. It's really complicated, but like it becomes like super powerful once you understand it. That's like, oh, I need something to every couple of seconds do a thing, you know. So with blinking, it makes perfect sense to like every couple of seconds have it blink, and then the eye layer here loops because it is shorter than the time that's out here. So this goes out for like 90 frames, but inside the eye is it doing, you know, the it's doing the whoa. It's doing the eyepiece, and it goes boop boop boop, and then does the blink, and then it keeps going. But then this is one piece, boop boop, and then this is the eye, and then here's the outside, is that it keeps going. So that means that it's actually loops, boop boop whoop boop boop, and this is one thing. And then on the outside, this is where we are right now, and so it's gonna keep going, and so it's gonna loop until infinity. So this is where it gets really fun, is that you can have these sort of mini animations where it's just like, oh, I'm gonna go for a bit, and then have that be loopable, so it just kind of keeps going over and over and over again, as long as the outside it shows it. So with Toon Boom, this sort of like concept of internal things that can have its own timeline or exposing for a certain amount of time will actually make something do it over and over. I could be completely wrong that that's not how that is possible in Toon Boom. I'm just not sure. But at least the way that it usually is being done is that you can have some kind of like couple frames with the drawings, and then you can say, I'll take these frames, and then I think there's a button for it somewhere in create cycle, and so you can then say, oh, do this cycle that I might have animated for how many frames, and then would have done the amount of times that it loops over the scene. So you have to manually figure out math and then unsee how many times I want to do it. So there's that method inside of Toon Boom that's like, okay. That's completely different. Let's see. Oh, really? Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well. That's why I got the simple eyes. I hope that makes it a little less like that. If I had like highlights where you have like a, you know, like a white dot on top, then that might be closer to what you're thinking. Let's see. Yeah. My VTuber, well, that's the same style as this, so. Uh-oh. Oh boy. I thought we were talking about the Flash ones, so okay. Yep. Feels slow, but it's fine. I probably figured how to speed it up. With the motions here, it's like, I would rather this arm going up a little bit faster. Do I have everything in here? There we are. So instead, I could probably just like cut a couple of these frames. See if I can just go here and then boop boop. Hope that I got everything selected, so then it won't have one piece that's strangling you know. So, oh well. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Dipple. Welcome. Good to see you. So I'm gonna have it be. Don't need this frame as much as that one. Have this be a little bit less. This is where like the magic of like, oh look, I can just modify this. This is where the magic is for me. It's like, wow, I could just go in and say like, oh, this curve isn't right. Whoop, you know, it's like, ah. With Flash, there is some tool. I forgot what it's called. I think I had it in a different file where I've done it. Maybe during toaster time. Remind me about that, and I can find the animation for it. Remind me like Flash rope animation. I used it on a rope. It's kind of like the puppet tool in Photoshop. So remind me of that at toaster time. I want these bips, and I want these bips. There we go. So that's already. But this kind of style, it's more the animation style, motion design style, whatever. It's more choppy. In a sense, that feels more like stop motion is what I like to akin it to. That it's feels more poppy and feels more like you're missing every other frame in a sense. Like stop motion is only. Is it every frame? I know there's different styles, but I guess it is like 24 frames a second usually. I'm not sure. But usually there's, because their stop motion is photography and everything, there isn't going to be motion blur because you're literally taking a screenshot of everything. So to have like a motion blur, like a smear, which is just a cartoon version of a motion blur, would be impossible. Excuse me. So you have to like create it, you know. So I don't know. That's insane. That stop motion is so underrated, but the most insane amount of work to make it. And that one's like, yeah, I'm gonna go see the next, you know, stop motion movie, but it's also like the most you've really got to know what you're doing to do to do stop motion really well. Yeah, there's a lot of keyframes here. I'm wondering what those are. I'll just select it from there and then go all the way down. Well, actually, I need some of these. Actually, yes, I don't need these. What are you? You're the wing. Okay, so I'll just go here and delete the keyframe and then see what happens. Head moved. I saw that. Imagine doing 60. That would. Yeah. That just doesn't sound fun at all. Oop. Can't even imagine doing 60 FPS for cartoons. It always feels really too smooth. Like it's the soap opera effect. Whoa. Where do I apparently have another? Ooh, I put him here. Interesting. Let's just get rid of a couple of these then. Let's just get rid of these. Where soap operas are like at 30 FPS or something crazy, and so they feel too smooth, or like it's like watching real life, which is sort of what they're going for. I wonder what is there like an exact number of frame rate soap operas are? Because I think normal video with YouTube stuff is usually 29.987 or something. Like it's not an easily divisible math number. It's like really crazy that goes to like the thousands or something. That's just like because the olden days, that's the frame rate was kind of dictated by just how fast you can either rotate the little crank for the camera. So yeah. I seem to have removed my keyframes of my pose I made, so that's unfortunate, but not to worry, this shouldn't take too long to redo here. So, oh well. If I made something like way more drastic or like made whole animation with it, I'd be a little bit more upset, but this isn't too much. And I can also show this again of just how much fun. It's like sculpting in a sense when making these poses here. Get a fun little rainbow at the end of it too. Okay, so this should be the same, hopefully. Deformer bops. Okay. For some reason I thought something was bad with the keyframe that's why I removed it. It was also adding keyframes when I didn't want it. That's what this is. That's great. Which to sense that maybe I should just check what this one is and see. Is it different from... No, because I kind of posted the same either way, so oh well. What am I doing? Am I moving her eyeballs? See, there's a key here. But why? Nah. I wasn't paying attention and something happened and made keyframes when I didn't want to, so I'm getting way more confused. More than I should be. Where should go? Okay. Let's just start over. That's some fun with this, that I can just have them be a little cross-eyed and fun, and it won't be bad. So somewhere around here, probably want to have her blink. So that's where the drawing substitutions come in. I want to use this key drawing that I made earlier, boop, and just use it. So that's what I mean, like if you had to like redraw this every single time you want to blink, it's kind of insane to always ask for that. So it's like, just kind of use this, boop, and there you go. Now you don't have to worry about that. Boop. Okay, so I can see where this is. So I want keyframe here, keyframe here. And then boop. So I just add a little bit more motion there. Obviously there's way more stuff, like I haven't even done the secondary motions, like I haven't done the hair, or even the wings. Which I could show the looping, that'd be fun. Let's do that then. So, the way that I made the wings is that there's actually two wings, which is a little bit tricky to see. I wonder if I could just move it. So there's a wing back here, so there's two wings. And the way that they work is actually are linked or somehow looped or grouped to each other. So when I move one, or like change the drawing substitution for one, it actually changes both of them at the same time. So I only have to like really animate one, and then it does the other one. So I'm gonna make one loop by pressing next frame and going to the next drawing substitution. So I have them on two different hotkeys, so I can just kind of do that. There we go. So now both of them should be flapping, so I should see 40s. See that one back there? Okay. So that's not how it works. And they should go to 10. So they start from 2 and go to 10. So it's be flap. There you go. Okay. And so I can use math now. So my latest Derpy cute. Great job. Thank you. I did work roughly a half year on that video alone, so that means a lot. Thank you. Math. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9. I want this to have a 9 frame loop, and I want it to be exposed for 100 minus it's 28. So that's around 80. I have 9. So I probably want to loop it for 10. If I do 10, that'd be 9 times 10. That's 90. That'd be more than that, more than I need. So well, let's just do that. So I'm going to highlight all the frames that I need. Thank you. Create cycle. I'm going to go to 10. So this is the number of cycles. Boop. I was just more dumbfounded. I'm just trying to figure out like what actually just happened. Why is it going weird? Well, it did it. They created a cycle. Okay. I don't know which one. Okay, so from here. Boop. Well, let's just create cycle. That didn't clearly click that. Boop. It did one. I said you said that you guys saw that I did 10, right? Well, just 2. Nope, it just did one more. Do 3 now. Boop. There's a hole in them too. There's a hole right here. That's weird. Okay. Let's find out where it loops. And then say from here. Actually here from here. Or do I need this one? No. I just need the one that's from here to here. Create cycle. Give me 2. Give me 3. Boop. It didn't even... What? Is it still doing the thing? 1, 2, dun. Back to 2. Why did that 2? Get rid of that. Does it need to be at the end? Is it like adding them at the end of the thing? No. But maybe. And then you have to wonder like, well, isn't it just easier to just sort of do it? But sometimes it doesn't change. Like I'm clicking a button to change the drawing substitution. Now it's not doing my hotkey on the keyboard. So that's weird. It's not doing it at all. Oh look, there's a keyframe back here too. What's this one doing? Why is it at 3, 1, and 2? That's why it sometimes takes a while to make these. It's like, I don't know what's going on. Half the time is, you know, just thinking of stuff of like how to do this correctly. Half of it is trying to execute it, and the other half is just like trying to figure out like why this doesn't work. It's not math, but it's just like, man, that's what? Why is it weird? I'm checking here to see if that's in the same loop every time. It seems to be working, but now if I click on the next one and go to this one, is it now working? What? I mean, if it works, I'm not gonna blame it, but it's just like, what? Okay. Now see, this one didn't take to go back here. Anyway. Maybe I should go to my color card so you can see it a little bit easier. Let's go to meta, color card, layer properties. Change this to be what's not going to hurt your eyes, probably just a black. So yeah, now you can see, hopefully. And now well, basically, yeah, she's just fine. So that's all I wanted to show there. I think it was more mid-tone. A little bit lighter. That's alright. Alrighty. Next stuff. What else do we actually have to do? So we animated that. What else? Well, the next thing would actually probably be the secondary motions. Or we'll have to do the fly keyframes. which will just be an up and down, which might be a fun loop, but I don't trust these loops anymore. You know. So now I have the wings. I needed the wings first so I can see basically when... Well, wait, what? They should start back here. Okay, let's just move these back, because that's where they should start to fly. What? Because I need these to be timed right. You know? Whoa, whoa. 3, 2, 10, 9. There we go. Okay. Now I gotta fly. Okay, so what I need is... Let's move to the anchor points. To be roughly in the middle-ish. Usually where I put the anchor point. There we go. Okay, and so now... I need to see this. So when it goes... When the wing goes to the bottom like that, I'm gonna add a keyframe and I'm gonna go boop boop. So now... When it goes back up, right around there, I'm going to go boop, boop, down. And then just repeat that until she gets over to... Actually, no, is that right? Ugh. Might have to like also make sure that these are in the right... These frames, because otherwise that breaks it. So I'm just going to have to go move these back. So now they're at the same... That kind of helps. There we go. Might have to have some in-betweens to say... so we're here. Down. So we... Okay. This working is complicated. Okay. As long as it wasn't complicated before. Right? Yeah. Got these. Okay. So I just go down. Wing go up. She go down. Wing go up. No. When wing go down, she go up. I think I just got all these backwards. Okay, sorry. Let's see. Wing go. Which way is wing going? Sorry. Okay. Wing go up. She go down. Wing go. Wing. Well, now go. I think the wings are just messed up, so that's not helping. Yeah, these wings are very messed up, so now... Because I'm just making her go down every time. Let's remove these. And figure out why these wings are weird. Okay. 10, 2, 3. Looking at these. Do. So they're good. I'm just freaking out of like why they're not working. Okay. So wing go down, she go up. Wing go up, she go down. Wing go down, she go up. Wing go up, she go down. Wing go down, she go up. Wing go up, she go down. Wing go down, she go up. Wing, no, I had to put that over there. Wing go up. Well, wing go up, she go down. Wing go up, she go down. Move that over. Wing go down, she go down. No, wing go down, she go up. Wing go up, she go down. Wing go down, she go up. Okay. Anyway, now it's slightly more lively. Okay. And then we just got to also have a loop for the hair, which again, this sort of stuff is like, well, if I did this with Flash, then I'd be able to just have this hair, have like 2 keyframes up, down, and then have that go for 4 frames or whatever, and then have that be a symbol, and then have that loop over and over to infinity, and not have to worry about the outside stuff or having to worry about the length of having to do that over and over. So, cool. We didn't even finish the main action, so because we're not at the door, we'll also have to make that as well. So, and now I'm on time, so hopefully, jeez, that got really confusing. It usually is actually that confusing. I just usually just lose concentration and just like figure out like the backward stuff of up and downs. So when I do the wing stuff, it takes me a while to figure it out. So that's not immoral or unnatural. I'm trying to do that. So yeah. Alrighty. I think we're about on time. So how you guys doing? I'll stop it there, and then if we do a loop, it'll ever not be there, and then she flies in. So we got that going, and we got a blink somewhere in there, boop. So, and then she's gotta open the door. So we got that, and we got the background here, which you go on top. So that's what it's gonna look like. Might change the colors. Might I didn't really color pick the ones from the Flash version or the original version, so might want to choose little better colors or figure out some stuff like that. So but also what I did, it's not quite done either, is, or I started to work on it, is this background. So that the green lines, the neon green lines, I try to figure out like some sort of a better sketch to it, because the visual background kind of fell off. It started to turn into like a weird pit, you know, just my lines just kind of started drifting down. So I use a more straighter ruler line and try to figure out like, let's just make it more straight, please. So instead of having to be way down here, now it's up here. So I have to figure out the rest of this stuff. But yeah, let's see, and then I'll have to figure out the outside stuff. I did have a plan to have these sort of like objects like the TV, the fire extinguisher, and maybe this hat rack. I was thinking of 3D modeling them, and then we could have it'd be easier to animate, to the sense that once it's made and everything, then I could just have like an object, a 3D object, and then if I need to rotate it or have it animate in space, then I don't have to worry about perspective and everything. I get the perspective and motions and stuff for free, like any kind of rotations, because I know I'm gonna have the TV and the fire extinguisher gonna like fall out of the balcony or the window back here. Ignore Derpy, let's turn her off. So yeah, for this last scene, I'm gonna have the fire extinguisher and the TV explode out of the window, and then it kind of falls down. To get the stop to be stopped there, so now I can play it. Let's go back. There you go. So if I can like not to like have to redraw this like fairly complex 3D form that it is, if I can have it be a literal 3D object, then I can not have to worry about stuff like that. So I was thinking of doing that, where we might have some streams where I make the TV and the, that's why initial plans was to have the TV and at least the fire extinguisher be 3D. So I recently reminded myself that, oh yeah, I can do I can import 3D models into Toon Boom, so be like, yeah, that'll work. So I tried to do some tests, and it's like, yeah, it sort of works. Exporting from Blender, the 3D software, is a little bit weird. It's it sort of works. It just needs to be some kind of conversion with the models to get like the texture. If I do it straight from Blender as an OBJ or whatever, the file format depends a lot. Is very important. So with Toon Boom, it likes FBX objects, which Blender doesn't quite have that as a standard, at least the default. So there's stuff like that. It's like, okay. Or at least I can import objects, but then the texture wouldn't show up, which I could show that. Hang on as I open that file real quick. Open recent 3D test 2. Alrighty, how you guys doing? Let me get some water. Because if it explodes while I'm opening it, then that's not going to be very cool either. So, there we go. Okay, so what we got here is actually a 3D model. This is actually, we'll see how this works. Rotating. Yeah, look at that. Check that out. So this is the cafe from the movie. This is literally from my Blender file from my movie. So that's it's pretty cool, huh? Yeah, the only thing is that when I export it, I can export it as a PNG. And so when I export it like this, some of the transparency alpha on like the sign here, it had like a border around it because like I had like in between these pixels, you know, around these lights, there would be an alpha channel. But when I exported it, it like showed it, like it had like a gray or something. So I was like, okay. So I'm slowly learning like, okay, I can sort of, I have to be careful. Yeah, it looked like this, where it had like the box around it. Because the way that I have the texture itself in 2D had something like that, is that it had that box around it. So that's some weird limitation. Look at that culling or whatever is going on there. It's like X-ray vision with that. So, firstly, yeah, I don't think you actually see in the cartoon that I made the. I don't think you can see like I was gonna have like a hole. That hole up there was for the exhaust or whatever for the. That'd be where the kitchen is. But I don't think you can see it. So, oh well. And apparently this is just a good test to see like, yes, I can import 3D models into Toon Boom, and it sort of works. I mean, the performance is pretty good, huh? There's another little tiny. I made this specifically just to test it out first, to see if I can even get a texture. The problem was when I imported it as a Blender straight file, then they weren't showing. Or either they wouldn't. I couldn't find the trash can. Is the weird thing. Like I exported it, but then somewhere the trash can is somewhere around here, and I couldn't see it. I think somebody access the pivot point is like in a completely different space than where it is. So I don't know where it is. I think this is. That was one of them. This is one of the first ones that I imported into Toon Boom with my own model. And it's like, yeah, it imported like this, and it's like, well, great, but where's the texture? So I had to like look online to figure out like, oh, you just gotta. I don't even remember, so I'm not gonna say it here because I'm gonna get it wrong. Because when I try to do like the trash can and stuff, like it didn't show up. So I don't know. If you can read over there and being curious, the other one is XCT, which is an Animal Crossing. I think it's Rover, one of the cats from probably the GameCube or something. So I was like, yeah, I can do something like this. So at least I'm interested in like making more models and 3D models. So I did not make this. This is a rip from the real Animal Crossing, but just as a test, it's like, yeah, this works, but again, doesn't have the textures on them. So I think the way that I did it was I had to like bake it to the sense that when I was exporting the from Blender, there's a special way to like make it. They got to export it as a Colita or whatever it is. It has those somewhat similar letters. So Who knows? I think C, it starts with a C in the final thing there. So anyway, so yeah, I eventually like figured out like from Blender you need to do a specific thing to include the UV map with the when you export it, and so that makes it into like a puts the texture UV inside of the file itself, or it's something magic where now it can find it and import it at the same time. So I didn't have to like import a picture into Toon Boom and just kind of like import 3D model and boop, there it is, kind of a thing all together. So it kind of worked all together like this. So yeah, let's see. Yep, I got visual back. Love to see making old school Animal Crossing animation. Ooh. Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool. Yeah. Animal Crossing is really fun. I think I just kind of missed the boat, especially for it already being out for a year now. I don't think I have like a specific script or any kind of idea right now for something like that. Same as how I got really into like I wanted to make a Splatoon animation, but I got as far as making a puppet and then realizing that this is going to be a lot more work. And then I just don't have the story for it. It's like I don't know. I get more concerned about let's do the techie and like figure out how am I going to do this, you know, like I'm going to figure out how to do all this and be like, wow, I really figured this out. Ah, cool. I figured out, yeah, I could do all this. Ah, cool. And then trying to implement it. Yeah. And then it's like, what am I going to do with it? Or how am I going to make a cartoon or whatever out of it? And it's like, oh, wait, I don't know. Or it's like, get myself or like realize that something's going to take a while. So anyway, I made a cube. Woo, already. So you can't do this in Flash. Especially not. You can't import 3D models into Flash. I was watching the stream that Toon Boom has on their Twitch. And like one of the moderators like, yes, I had to like clarify and say like, yes, chat, the Toon Boom is not a 3D software that you can't like model and like really animate stuff too proficiently, but apparently you can import 3D models and then sort of like move and animate them to the sense that there's as much as probably you can do, where it's just kind of like you get an object and you can reposition and scale and rotation it more than do anything fancy. Like you can't do anything like Blender or Maya to the sense that you can't add all the special controls and actually 3D model something inside of Toon Boom. So there's that limitation of that. So yeah. But able to do this is like bring in 3D models and have 2D characters if you want, like interact, and this actually exists inside of a 3D environment and something like this. So you can have like a 2D picture of a cartoon or whatever, and then have it actually interact with the 3D stuff all inside of here. So that's cool. But again, it's like, what am I gonna really do with that? And I don't know. Right. Reminder, I need to open the next thing. Actually, hang on so I can find it. I don't actually remember what folder I put it in. So that should be fun. Maybe here, maybe there. Who knows? I just need to go through all my stuff here. I'm still here, just hanging on. This may be it. We're gonna open it and then see if it's there or not. What I was thinking of with the rope. And then see if it's here or not. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe I'll just go back to go back to Toon Boom. That's not a smart work. It's near the end or the beginning. I'm not sure. Oh, it's not the end. Okay, cool. And it has the animation. Awesome. Okay, so I'll start at the beginning then. Okay. I need to preface this. This is not my idea. This is I was commissioned. Let's say that I was commissioned to work on this animation. I think even people from Discord or YouTube chats are used to this guy probably a long time ago. Charmander Vlogs. I think he changed his name recently, so I don't know what his new name is. But anyway, he commissioned me to make this animation. So I'm just gonna say, like, I did not think of these concepts. I did not think of these ideas for what each character does. I was merely the artist. Oh yeah, this is actually set in 30 FPS. So there you go. This is what a 30 FPS animation looks like. I think my stream isn't quite set to that, but I don't know. I'll have to check it out what it looks like. So yeah. So I animated this whole thing, obviously. Feels fast. Maybe it just used to be slow. Anyway, yes. What I was going to show is this rope. Look at this fancy rope animation. That looks pretty good, right? Let's watch it again. So, yeah, what I was alluding to is that you can have these certain deformers to this rope, or to different objects in Flash. So I'm inside of Flash, and so I was like, I'm not gonna like draw and like animate this traditionally. I was going to animate it with a puppet sort of puppet tool. So it's a warp asset. Apparently, that's what this says over here. So it has different animations where instead of animating it, where I can like draw it. So instead of having to draw it, where you have like, whoa, it looks like this, and the next frame, I had to like delete that and then draw going, whoa, going up. Especially with all these different lines and details and stuff. I was like, I'm not, getting paid enough to do this. So it's like, I'm just gonna see if I can show this. So here's what the original rope actually looked like, is that it's literally just a stick with a lot of details on it. So I made this, and then preparing the warp shape. Just really thinking about it. Oh, Flash. It's basically, I don't know if this is gonna work now. I don't know what's going on. Remember when I worked on this, it doesn't happen, so I don't know what this is. It's probably like a combination of using a newer version of Animate, plus I'm kind of taking this from, the file itself is from my shared storage folder, so it's not quite on my computer, it's actually in the cloud. I think what it's doing is that it's calculating every single point that I put on it. Yeah, okay. So anyway, I think there's probably, it's been so long. Is there like a special tool? It might be one of these. So you can imagine one of these being able to do the puppet warp tool. You guys see it? May not be in here. What is this? Bind tool? Bone tool? It's kind of like the bone tool, but it's able to be much more. Nope, can't click it like that. It's not bind tool. Let's try the other one. Let's try bone tool. I don't think it's bone tool, but let's see. Bone. Boop. No. So what I did was, you can imagine, I had like different. I need a different color. I had different control points. So all along here, I have different control points all along here, and then as it animates, move that back. So then every time it animates, I would then start to like move this and say like, oh, I need to. Oops, I deleted it. Yeah. All these weird errors that didn't show up when we were doing them. But then just kind of like move this down, and then it like curves it to be the right position, kind of stuff like that. So instead of having me draw this out and then figure this out, like a weird snake thing going on here, is that it would have like, I would have these different points. Oh yeah, I think it was actually like a polygon, but it was just like insane of like it would like have a point, and then it would like polygonize, all these different pieces and make this mesh. And so that's how like actually animate. Let me see if I can find out what it's. What was this called? What was the snake called that we said it was? It was a warped object? Warped asset. Because I can find online. Maybe like an example of it. Oh, like even an example has a snake. So yeah, that's what it's for. Let's bring it into Flash, please. Oh, that's cool. The video that I'm looking at is mostly in, or is this looks? Oh, I thought that was oh, that works. Looks like Photoshop when you look at it. Okay, so I'm looking at Adobe Animate Asset Warp. Is the title of it. I'm trying to get a good picture here. Good screenshot. Oh, is it the pen tool? Oh, that might work. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so it's the same kind of thing. Where it creates this like mesh that you can kind of see. Is that you have these different points that you're adding onto it, and then it creates this meshed polygon thing. And then you can move that up and down and move it around and animate it. So that's what it would sort of look like. It's kind of hard to see on this because it's blue on purple, but yeah. That reminds me, maybe I should use the pen tool. At least get rid of this keyframe. Is it this? There are several pens here. Pen tool. No way, that's just making a... I don't know. It's been so long, and obviously I don't need to trouble myself anymore with this. So, anyway. But yeah, this is the result of it, is that you can move this around. And then time it around with the Pinkie Pie animation to make sure that all works. And then add in two flips there. And then they all kind of combine together. So it made it really easy to animate instead of having to hand animate it, which is more what I'm used to. It's not hand animated. So, but yeah. I don't know if you can find this video easily. I don't think it's on Charmander Vlogs, which I'm used to that. So, and it's also an outro, so it's probably not going to be an actual video. So, you're to be able to watch this as a full video instead of me dissecting it. Not sure about that. Let's just get rid of that. And let's get rid of that. But yeah, you can even see like here, like with the animation. I did this obviously pretty quick, but the way that I had to do like the arms is that I had, let's see, Pinkie Pie's arm is that I had, this is just to show you it, I had different drawing substitutions to have the arm be in specific poses, of it being poses of it being bent. So instead of having the deformers to like make this kind of curve shape and having little points like the deformers and just going boop, like I showed you in Toon Boom, I had this system of in Flash making different poses and then swapping between those and animating them as they on the outside, rotating them and then changing what pose they are. So yeah, it's a different process to do that. But I think I like the deformer method a little bit better, as I don't feel restricted to only the amount of drawings that I make, you know. So I can have these more intermediate poses, an infinite amount of them, and stretch them and everything. So they're more like jelly instead of rigid like drawings and poses. But anyway, just wanted to, I'm reminded of this. So there you go. Look how far I've come. I went to the third dimension. Let's go to toaster time. I think we're already, that was my toaster time, so oh well. Let me turn this off and then I can open the The animation that we had. Save. That guy's doing. I'll probably just talk for maybe like 5 more minutes and then end at the half hour. So hi guys doing. Let's see. Let's see. Thank you guys for all the support and all the people who said that they like what's going on with me. Thank you. Ready for bed? Yeah, me too. It's only like 6, or almost 6. It's 5:30 here, so I already feel like I should go to bed. Let's see. Let's have Derpy in here just to show this animation, and then I will have a keyframe of her being over here. Oh, let's just put her off screen, so now she's invisible. Okay, and then it should go all the way to the end and replay. Yep. I'm just getting this set up. Okay. Okay. So obviously nothing here is final with that. And then storyboard. Okay, not anymore. My throat is not letting me talk anymore. Ugh. It's like I had something in my throat, but it wasn't anything. It was just like my muscle of my throat like spasming or trying to. It was like really tight. Alrighty. So I don't think you guys, anyone's seen the last of the storyboards, so that'll be something. That's what I mean. Like even with that shot, with the fire extinguisher going into the TV, it's like. To make it quicker, I'm not sure if I need to have different. It would seem like fake if I only have one pose for it, or like one picture or drawing of the fire extinguisher. But if I can have it be 3D, then I can have the correct rotation and perspective to it, you know. So, it's probably next time. Let's see. It'll be whatever I'll be working on this in the meantime, so whatever I don't finish or whatever, we'll work on next time. Cause as I said, like I've already worked on the puppet, which might have been its own stream, but I worked on it so hard already that it's like, yeah, let's just put it in there and see what happens. And that kind of worked out fairly well, so I'm happy with that. And then I worked on first sketch of the backgrounds, so probably get more with that neon green one. I'll probably finish that up, or a tighter background, maybe get some colors, I don't know, and then maybe clean up the animation that we did today. So might be either working on the second shot, which will be coming up, this one, or work on the 3D models to get those ready before we actually animate this shot. So probably want to figure that out. I'm off. See ya. Okay, thank you, Cookie. What do you guys think, though? Should I do a stream? Should I show you guys the stream of 3D modeling, or should I just kind of skip that and just do it, or just show the result of it? Kind of like what I'm doing to the backgrounds, because I think the backgrounds, they're definitely necessary and obviously needed, but it's like just drawing them are kind of tedious. Like they just take so long. It's just like, yeah, it's just gonna be a background anyway. Okay, bye. To you, thank you. See you when next time you arrive. Okay, nothing. So yeah, so next time will probably be whatever I'm up to. So yeah, I'll repeat what I said, or not. But yeah, I think just some of the pieces, like I know that I think it might be funnier in some sense too if it's weirdly 3D, especially in the last shot where they explode out of the window. If you can see it like tumbling around, like it's a weird ragdoll. When everything else is 2D, it's like just kind of like seeing that or having it be weirdly simulated 3D. It's like, oh, it feels off. So that might be its own sort of humor to it as well. as well as to kind of show that I can do a lot more than show my progress and show my my skills, my weirdly broad amount of skills I got to do 2D and 3D stuff. Which I'm not saying I'm the best at either. You can already see like I was struggling just trying to do this one thing that I've done a million times with the animation of her flying over. I've done that a million times, so I was like, man, that was a little embarrassing. But yeah, to show like, yeah, I can do 2D stuff is already sort of a given, but to show like as a remake, I can show that I've also had the skills to do 3D stuff, but even if that means, you know, that my 3D skills right now are just like what you've seen in the city video, the part 4. That's as far really as I've got. But also in a sense as like, yeah, I don't really like the city buildings and stuff, like those assets, like the little shops that each that Derpy bumps into. Like those are just sort of meant to also just sort of be fairly simplistic in style and design. So I don't think that was that helped too. That's like, yeah, my 3D skills are mostly fairly blocky. The little Easter egg is that I had the surfboard that I used that I have in the video is actually the 3D model that I used way back when for the, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I had a video of Derpy using a surfboard, and she got a surfboard and she doesn't know what to use, how to use it or anything, and so she eventually goes like cloud surfing somehow, I don't know. But that was like when I was trying to learn Blender and actually try to make something decent. So I made that surfboard model. I made a 3D model of it and then traced it in Flash to make a 2D vector. So I had like different perspectives of it rotating, and then traced all of those and then had that as a vector to put into Flash, because you can't put 3D models into Flash. So you can't import them in. So kind of helped that I could like create more interesting designs, even though I had it be the surfboard in the video I think is pretty plain. But yeah, that also sort of helped that my horrendous low polyness of the surfboard. it had way I looked at it, I imported it into my new city scene, and it's like I looked at the topology, which is basically just where all points are in 3D space, and it was a mess. I mean, it had so many like extra points and like weird, not even like closed meshes, or like I'm sure I had so many n-gons, which are like reversed polygons and stuff. It's like, man. And even some of the shape wasn't even like smooth. So man. So when I put it into the city, I was like, man. So I kind of cleaned it up a little bit, and then added the texture on top of it with a new texture for the surfer to have, and then that's basically it. I didn't have to change it much. So I'd save time by reusing my own model, so that was really fun. I think it worked out pretty good. The lighting system sort of really helps, because when I imported it, I apparently didn't use texture. Well, I knew that it wouldn't have the texture because I was going to put it in Cintiq anyway, so putting any kind of texture on it would have made sense for the first video. So for the Flash importing stuff, which was just, I took screenshots of the surfboard in 3D inside of Blender, and then took those 2D pictures into Flash and then traced them. So now with the new version with the city stuff, I could just directly import the whole surfboard 3D model into the city scene and work from there. So that made that really easy. Aside from the fact that some of those pieces were really weird. But yeah, when I was looking at the surfboard without the texture, it's like if I had like a normal realistic lighting system, the way that the way that there was the weird imperfections in it, it would have been very, it would have had visible seams, or reflections would have been like at different angles on the same, what looks like one, what should have been like one flat, um, uh, you know, where the surfboard on that flat long piece side of it, it became like different chunks of like the reflections going in different directions. So I was like, man. So I try to flatten it up a little bit, and it kind of works, because then by having more of a cartoon lighting system that I had to figure out, it made it so there was no shadows or highlights or any kind of, it hides the weird imperfections that I have with the 3D models. So that was really nice. That even it took me forever to like, I had to like review. I was reviewing my exports, my Blender exports, my 3D exports, in a video software, and it took me to like looking at it there to like look at one of the buildings and then look at the texture of it, and like the way that I had the texture is that I had like these red square outlines to show like this is where, as a guide, to show like this is the outer borders of where the texture should be. To say like, oh, put your you know, the UV map in this spot, and it should be in this dimension. So I had these these guide shapes, and like these red squares to say like put your stuff there, and then the building I think was like a maroon or some kind of dark burgundy, probably burgundy, against my neon red guides. I guess I did it pretty quick with the UV mapping. That then I realized that, whoops, on the edges of the building is whoops, you can see the red guidelines. So I think hopefully I caught all the buildings. I reused that building several times in different shots in different buildings. So I had to go back in and see like, okay, it's this burgundy building, and then okay, in shot 2, okay, it's there, you know, you can kind of see it. So okay, is it the, I had to go back and remove, I took the 2D picture, the 2D UV map that I had, and then just removed the guidelines, and then exported that, and then for the ones that I need to replace it with, I just replaced the texture with the new one, and then that fixed it without having to redo the UV mapping. So that was really easy. But just like looking at it and making sure that I caught them all. I think I got them all. Who knows? So yeah, that was an ordeal. Oh boy. So if you guys liked the cartoon, thank you. Then know that there was a lot of weird hiccups like that. There's like slowed things down just a little bit. It's like, oh geez, not to do that. Ugh. So but yeah, I'm excited to do more 3D stuff. I think 3D is still interesting to me, because I've been so 2D focused, that I think the movie is a great hybrid that I'm having a lot of fun with, that I can still do all my 2D animation principles and stuff that I've been learning, and still use and actually apply that, and literally put my 2D animation inside of a 3D space is what I really like. That kind of aesthetic is really fun. So yeah, so that's what I mean is like I'm thinking and hopefully I'm convincing you guys that for this sort of stuff, like the TV and the fire extinguisher and maybe the code rack, I don't know, to have those be 3D models inside of here, and then I don't have to get it all right and try and draw it right. So Maybe even a couch. Who knows? I don't know. I could probably just 3D model the whole room and just have Derpy be the 2D part. It's out to figure all that out. But yeah. So maybe we'll have next stream next Tuesday be a 3D stream where I make one of the objects. So, alrighty. Went a little bit too long. So, thank you guys for watching. I'll wrap up. Thank all of you guys for being here, especially all the large group support. Thank you. So yeah, I hope you guys come back. Next time will be next Tuesday at 4 p.m. PST or 7 p.m. EST. So hope you guys see you next time to watch that. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for all the support and if you haven't seen it yet, go watch the part 4. There's a playlist on my channel for the Derpy movie itself, so you can catch up. Should only take you less than 5 minutes probably to watch everything up to now. So yeah, maybe even see some little hints, especially in the first part. There's like a map and it like outlines the entire journey, so you can kind of follow along and see like where we are. Maybe guess what the next journey, what the next part of the journey is. So go rewatch all those while I take a break and then get back on the horse to work on part 5. I'm excited. I like where it's going. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I don't know what's gonna say there. So anyway, thank you guys. All right, big hug for you all guys. Thank you. Alrighty guys, thank you. Okay, now I'm really gonna sign up. So thank you. Bye guys. Thank you. Alrighty, bye guys.